You can look right into that camera and
it's
give a
just-
message to Christopher.
I'm not gonna get. I'm not gonna do it. It's a bad idea. I'm not gonna do
All
it.
right. Well,
Thanks for the opportunity, but I'll try to keep it positive.
all right.
It's good. What I can say, it's good that these movies bring interest. Yeah, bring some interest from the younger people and stuff. Like after Oppenheimer came out, there was a huge uptick at Georgia Tech in interest in quantum mechanics. People actually enrolling in the class.
To make bombs.
I guess so, or whatever. But obviously they're not going to learn it's not going to be as exciting as the movie, what they learn in the class, whatever.
Welcome to the Deep Dive podcast. Today we're going to have a very special episode with the guest Peter Lott from Fenica University. He's a researcher in physics, and he's going to introduce himself.
Hey guys, I'm Peter. As HD said, I'm a gravitational wave physicist focusing on data analysis with the LIGO Virgo Kagra detector. And I'm a research scientist since August 2025 at Fenica University.
What brought you to Vietnam?
So, Vietnam happened for me in kind of a weird way. I was finishing up my PhD around October 2024, something like that. And for the prior year and a half, I was just looking for jobs. My work is very niche, but surprisingly, the market is really oversaturated with people like me, especially in America. So yeah, data analysis is like the main type of physics that people are doing, it seems, at least in astrophysics. We can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit later.
But so I met a physicist, Queen Nguyen, hope I'm saying that okay.
Yes.
At APS, American Physical Society conference in Sacramento in around April 2024.
Okay.
So she and I had met because she was faculty at Notre Dame at the time, and there was this fellowship that she wanted some people to apply to. She had circulated this kind of memorandum saying, hey, apply to this fellowship if you're interested. So I was interested, so I talked to her. And then as August rolled around, she told me that she has some, we say, postdoctoral support in HANOI in Vietnam. So the way that postdocs work, at least in the States, is if you are a postdoc, you have to make more money, like double the amount as a grad student. Mm-hmm. And your research advisor has like a block sum of money that they can spend however they want. It can be on X number of, grad students or Y number of postdocs. Mm-hmm. But, only since postdocs cost more, everybody doesn't have enough money for a postdoc, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was a really unique opportunity, to say the least, to be able to come here.
Okay. So instead of being a postdoc, you're now a researcher, which is a much more stable job.
Yeah, I'm technically, I got recruited as a postdoc, but for maybe hiring reasons, I'm a research scientist, which is a more semi-permanent position, mm-hmm. more long-term. There's a potential like a tenure kind of track you could potentially be on. Also, a postdoc is usually 1 to 2 years. My contract is for 3 years. There are 3-year postdocs, but yeah, this is a little bit more senior compared to like a postdoc.
Yeah. So your contract here is 3 years.
That's right.
All right. So when you got the job,
Mm-hmm.
Do you think twice?
Oh yeah, I thought not just twice. I thought a million times about it.
Oh, nice.
Because I had never been to Asia before, let alone Vietnam, and I'm trying to think of, my sister had been to China. I mean, I know these are all different countries, but for me as an American, for us it's like America and then there's everybody else. So I'm thinking of it like, how different would Vietnam really be? I don't know anything about that country. And so, no, I wrestled with it for a long time because also, like I said, I've been looking for a job for like more than a year, in preparation for my graduation. And yeah, I would have preferred to stay in the States, would have preferred to stay close to my parents, close to home and all that kind of stuff. But on the other hand, I was getting to study something that I love to study.
Yeah.
And it's more of a, you know, I'm young, I don't have kids. And so it's kind of that would be the time to like make a big change to a different part of the world. So, so I asked a lot of people what they thought about it. Like a lot of my friends, family, and at the end of the day, this was the most logical option.
No.
I also thought that since it scared me, then it's probably a good idea to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. So I have a lot of questions regarding like the choices that you made, but let's talk about the life before you made the decision. Like you went to Howard University and you went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Right? You have a lot of exposure to like the Vietnamese culture. I know that Howard is a predominantly Black community, right?
Right.
And then Georgia is enough of a melting pot. So I think you could have been exposed to a lot of like Asian friends, maybe Chinese, maybe Vietnamese.
Yeah, I have one close Vietnamese American friend who actually studies astrophysics himself.
Right.
But his people are refugees from the South. And he actually grew up in Atlanta. His name is Quan.
Okay.
And so I had met, Atlanta is fairly diverse. You meet a lot of Asian people. I know a few Hmong people. There's like a Hmong community in Atlanta too. In terms of close associates or friends from Asia or Southeast Asia, I'd have to say relatively few.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're from Huntersville, Alabama.
Huntsville.
Yeah. So I actually spent like 2 years in Sewanee, Tennessee.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
Yeah.
Not so far at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We often made trips to Huntsville. Yeah.
For what?
For whatever reason, there was an eclipse, solar eclipse.
Oh, right.
And then we get drunk along the way, and that's not coming to.
The camera.
Yeah. No. Yeah, we're gonna keep it.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then we had good times there. But now, generally, I know for a fact that it was not a very progressive kind of environment to grow up in. Is it?
Well, Huntsville is kind of like. So, you're talking about like what you talk when you see.
Yeah. The progressiveness versus like the melting pot ish at Atlanta. So
Sure.
Yeah. So your exposure to Asian culture or any kind of foreign culture is kind of a limited resource.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Huntsville's a little bit more diverse than some other cities in Alabama, but but for example, the first like Jamaican community I met was at Howard University. So there's not that many Jamaicans, for example, like in Huntsville.
Have you met a second Jamaican?
I met a few Jamaicans since going to college.
Okay.
But like, so Howard is actually very diverse because even though it's historically Black, there's people from all over who come to study there. People from the Black diaspora in Haiti, Jamaica, also all over the United States, Africa, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of Vietnamese, there's probably only like 2 Vietnamese restaurants in Huntsville, and one of those is a banh mi place.
Oh, okay.
And then the other place,
that's nice.
Myself and my parents went to, and it did not seem Vietnamese to me. But that's just my opinion.
Okay, so like whitenized, like westernized.
I don't know what it was. The fried rice was just not good. To me, it just wasn't good.
Do you try fried rice here?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
In fact, I had been to Vietnam already. Then like I said, I came back to Huntsville over the summer, and we tried that Vietnamese restaurant there. Yeah, they didn't have anything that I would call characteristically Vietnamese.
Okay. Well, I can go to like the history of that, but
Yeah.
it can become a little bit political. So, yeah. So some people from here, especially the the southern part of Vietnam, flee to America back in the mid '70s or so. So they made a lot of restaurants there, and then over time, the restaurants, the flavor got diluted with the Western culture.
Yeah, I think that's
why.
I think that they think that we can't eat spicy food, for example, or very sour foods and stuff like that. Also, because Vietnamese cuisine, so I really like to cook. So I like to eat different foods from different cultures and stuff. And Vietnamese food, as you know, puts a big emphasis on the freshness of ingredients. And some of those ingredients that you can find fresh here, you cannot find in America fresh. Or it's, there's more preservatives in the foods and stuff. So that also makes it a lot worse. Actually, when I was in DC for college, I had my first bowl of pho. But the pho there they serve it with jalapenos and not like the red chili, bird's eye chilies that you guys have here.
Yeah.
So stuff like that they have to literally switch out ingredients because they just don't have it, or it's not easy to buy in bulk.
Yeah.
So it's really not the same.
Yeah, the first time I saw jalapeno in pho, I thought it's a crime.
Right.
Yeah, against Asian culture.
Right.
But I get used to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you
better?
Do you dislike the jalapenos, or is it just different?
It shouldn't be there.
Right, but it's like it's not really Vietnamese food. You know what I mean? When you eat the Vietnamese food, do you get that same sense that it's not, it doesn't really seem like Vietnamese food?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, even like
I won't be offended if you say it. I don't know.
No. In different parts of Vietnam, you would find the same dish being prepared differently. Yeah. So I don't blame America. I don't blame any part of the world.
Right.
They should enjoy whatever they feel like.
Right.
But jalapeno shouldn't be there.
No, I agree.
I have my conviction.
All right.
Let's come back to like your life here. So you made the decision, and how did you inform your extended family? How did they react to it?
So I told my parents first, and they were very on the fence about me going. But at the same time, they said, well, we'll support you no matter what. So they were good parents about it, as always. And then I didn't really tell anybody else in my family directly, but it kind of came about that, Peter's going to be going to Vietnam. That's crazy. We should all try to go.
Okay.
So basically, after I came back over the summer and I didn't get, eaten alive by an alligator or something like that.
That's what you get by going to Florida.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's more of a Floridian thing.
Yeah.
But they were kind of like, well, now we can go and try to visit Peter in Vietnam.
All right. First, go out to Vietnam. What hit you first? Like, is it a food, temperature, people?
Good question.
Yeah.
So when I first got to Vietnam, just visually, it's very striking compared to America.
Also,
the houses are, from our perspective, kind of stacked on top of each other. There's not a whole lot of there's nothing to spread out. Yeah. The houses are not spread out and a lot of houses in America are just one story, but there's a lot of rooms. Here, all the rooms are stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
That looks very visually striking. The signs are all kind of characteristically Vietnamese. They have the same kind of font.
Yeah.
Like a characteristic font, and the symbols on the letters, which I knew nothing about. I mean, I'd seen them before, but I didn't know how to read them or anything at the time. And so, yeah, it was when when you watch some James Bond movie and all of a sudden they're in like India or something, and it's just like a completely different country, and it's like, oh wow, you're in a different country, blah blah. So it kind of felt like that. It was super different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like the reason why it's stacked above each other is that we're like, as you know, you might know that we are a growing country. We're like a developing country. So our income doesn't match the ability to buy a house. So they buy a lot of land first, and it's often pretty small.
Yeah.
So they would have to stack up.
Right.
They build up, not wide.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I had actually, I had done a good amount of research before I came, and so there's actually a name for that style of house that has its own Wikipedia page and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. I'll see that type of house, but I didn't know it'd be like every house. You know, I thought it would be like maybe just in the old quarter or something like that. So yeah, then you have the people on the motorbikes and the helmets and stuff. That's very different from America.
How long did it take you to learn how to cross a road?
How long did it take me? Well, the funny thing is, you guys, like, it didn't take me too long. I mean, it was now, even today, if I'm crossing the road with a friend, they may go before I go, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the most eager to cross, but you guys don't go too fast. Like everything's kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but it has its own rhythm to it. The traffic has its own rhythm to it that I actually can intuitively see and understand.
Yeah.
So that wasn't too scary to me like it may be for some people.
Yeah.
Because even in the States, when you're driving in different cities, each city has its own traffic culture.
Yeah.
You know, some people drive crazier. For example, in Nashville, I feel like the traffic there or the driving there is just the worst that I've ever seen. And in Atlanta, people might say the same thing, but I've driven there quite a lot, and actually there's a certain kind of deference that people have for you when you try to switch lanes or something like that, but you have to get over, before they move past you. You know what I mean? So
I think Atlanta, Georgia in general has the highest, let's say, insurance rate in the country because of the drivers.
So that actually doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So I suffered a lot. Anyways, so do you have a car here?
I don't have a car. I don't have a motorbike. I just take a taxi everywhere.
Okay. Wow. That. Do you have a premium membership?
I just have like normal. I have like Sign and I have a Grab, and those are relatively cheap by American standards. So I feel like I'm fine.
Okay.
Could be cheaper. Could be more expensive too.
Well, if you stay here for, longer, you could buy a bike,
maybe not a bike.
Motorbike.
No, that's not happening. I'm afraid of those. Like, that's one thing I'll never get used to. I mean, it's okay for everybody else to drive them. I don't judge anybody, but in terms of my own
safety,
no, I'm not getting on. Now, maybe a car. I could see myself getting a car and driving around. If I stayed for long within a couple of years, then I'd probably end up getting a car.
Okay.
Which a VinFast, cheaper car wouldn't be too much. You could buy one used. I looked into those kinds of prices. I might only have to save up for half a year to a year.
Okay.
Something like that.
But you have 2.5 years left on the contract?
Just about.
Okay. Well, is it good for an investment in a car?
Well, it's better than it's not necessarily, I agree that bikes are a little bit more convenient.
Yeah.
But they don't feel more safe to me.
Exactly.
And also I weigh 200 pounds more than the average Vietnamese. So if I fall off, I'm breaking every bone in my body. For you guys are very pliable and just get right up after falling over. But for me, that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
I have to be careful.
Well, but if you bike, I'm not I'm not a bike salesperson. But holidays like now, you cannot get a Grab anywhere or Sang anywhere. Right?
Yeah, it takes a long time.
Yeah. and there's a spike in prices, right?
Right. Yeah, and the traffic is worse. I mean, during this time, during TED, it's...
Oh, this is your first TED, right?
Yeah, my first TED. I came after TED last year
Okay.
because people kind of said you should wait until after. So that stuff with the government, at the time I thought my work permit would just be a few weeks. So it was like, okay, let's just get here after TED and hopefully the government will be moving swiftly after that.
All right. So if you experience TED here in Hanoi, you will see the calmest day, like in the whole year. Yeah, 365 days. That's going to be the quietest day of the year.
I'm looking forward to it.
Just the morning. Yeah. On the second day, people are going to be flooding back. Yeah. Wow. Are you going to be in Hanoi on the first day of the new year?
So I don't actually know when the first day of the new year is.
When is it?
Is it like the 13th or something?
When's the first day of the Lunar New Year?
Monday next week.
Monday? Next Monday? Yeah, next Monday.
So I was planning on so I don't know, in short. I was planning on taking a trip to Ha Long Bay, but
on Monday.
no, I was just planning on it sometime in the future, like it's sometime in the next week or so, but I'm not sure.
Right, so the next question is going to be about food. You said you cook for yourself. Do you cook like predominantly American food?
Yeah, I usually cook some kind of pasta or some kind of rice.
Even here,
Yeah.
with the change in ingredients.
So mostly I eat out here because the food is cheaper. But when I feel a craving for some kind of American food, which pasta is like somewhat American.
What's your go-to?
In terms of cook, eating out. I eat pho pretty much every day.
Okay.
And
because you have exposure to pho beforehand. Is it? You go to safer choices?
No. I'm pretty adventurous. I pretty much eat whatever. If someone says, "Oh, you need to try this," like I've gone out to dinner with with colleagues and stuff, and they're always trying to get me to try their foods and see what I like or don't like. I'm pretty open to that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the chicken here is good. The gazan moi,
Oh,
the salted
gazan moi.
chicken.
Okay.
And the pho is good.
Have you tried ducks?
Yeah, duck. I just went.
Grilled ducks?
Yeah, I just went to the duck restaurant, Vite 34, or it's not.
Oh, vịt Bát Tư. Yeah.
Yeah, I just went.
34.
I was just there last night,
Oh, nice.
and I had I had the roasted duck. I had some duck fried rice, and I had a bamboo and blood soup.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then I also had
Tiết canh.
some fries. So yeah, I pretty much eat like whatever y'all got going on here. The only thing that I miss is the Mexican food.
Oh, yeah.
There's no Mexican food. Okay, so you tried that?
No, not here, but there's no Mexican food here.
No.
My sister actually can make some, but with these ingredients, not.
But you've had it in America.
Yeah.
Do you like it or not your favorite?
So.
Okay, well for me it's like a craving, and so it's very rare to actually get that in this part of the world, which is understandable geographically. But no, I pretty much eat. I remember one time they gave me this red pudding when I was out drinking beer with folks. They had this red like bright red pudding that I thought was maybe beets or something. Do you know what it was?
I don't know. Maybe it's blood.
Duck blood.
Yeah, of some sort.
And it was sweet. It was like a sweet duck blood pudding.
Tiết canh vịt. Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? And they were like, oh, it's duck's blood.
Yeah.
Isn't it good? I'm like, yeah, it's all right.
So even Vietnamese cannot eat that. Like,
Oh, really?
a lot of us
Okay.
eat that.
Okay, why?
I don't know. It's just
Gross.
Yeah.
You don't like it?
Sometimes.
You don't like it either.
No, like with the jiggly stuff, it's more like a snack for me than like a salty stuff.
Oh, right.
And sometimes I don't know, it's hard to swallow. knowing that it's blood of something that just leaves.
Okay, so even you guys feel that it's disgusting. Yeah, in America, we never eat blood, ever.
No.
No. It's almost like a taboo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what's like another like crazy thing I've eaten here. Crazy to me. So you guys have these the pork intestines.
Oh yeah.
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 So in America, that would also be a little bit strange to eat that. But actually, in African American culture, we have a version of it called chitlings. It's actually chitterlings. That my mom used to eat every year for Christmas when I was a kid. And it's like a distinctly African American, like soul food kind of dish. And the smell, I still remember the smell was so disgusting. Because you get them, as you guys know, you get them from the store, then you have to clean them aggressively.
Yeah.
Clean the pig intestines or whatever. And then I guess they put hot sauce on it or whatever. The rest of us were so grossed out, we never ate it. But she grew up eating it, so it was like a big, cultural thing for us. And then I came here and you guys eat similar, it's the same ingredient, it's not really the same.
No, but it tastes pretty good, right? I'm not against eating it.
It doesn't taste bad, but it wouldn't be something I would like crave, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you can tell, it has like, you can tell it's been cleaned. You can tell it's been like aggressively cleaned.
Which recipe?
Yeah, which is the most
violently clean.
Yeah. Hopefully, that's the most important thing. So yeah, I went to actually a couple of weeks ago. We went to this Hmong restaurant where they had it was it's kind of close to campus.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had the bright purple rice, sticky rice.
Okay.
And they also had some version of that dish that was in like a soup.
Okay.
Along with a bunch of other foods. So usually when I actually really respect Vietnamese cuisine, like your guys' affinity for food and the way you prepare food is very, I don't know, I just really appreciate it. So I usually when a whole group of people are like, hey, try this, I'm usually pretty open to it.
Yeah. So I think we came from pretty poor background in the country, so we have to make use of every part of the animal.
Right.
Yeah, and make them taste good.
Right. That's how like our culture is too. Like we only had like the scraps or the pig intestines of the food stuff nobody else would eat, and then our culture will turn it into something palatable.
Do you try the fertilized duck egg? Trứng vịt lộn, have you heard of it?
Is that the balut egg?
Yeah, so the egg has a baby in it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I would try that. I think that's the one thing that I'd do against trying to eat.
It's pretty good.
No. Is it good?
It is. Yeah, it's actually...
It just said it rolls if you look at it, but you taste it's good. It's fine.
Does it taste more like egg or does it taste more like duck?
Well, it's half and half. But there's richness in between, so it's hard to describe.
Right.
But if you just close your eyes, and then just not look at the duckling's head looking back at you, to your soul, at your soul, then you can probably...
Okay, so you guys also wrestle with... Okay. All right.
We are humans.
Right.
Taught to hunt and...
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I'm even open to eating that maybe, but
yeah,
I always thought that those, because I've seen that stuff on like Food Network and stuff back home, and I'm like, the whole egg already fertilized and almost turned into a duck. It just seems like crazy to eat.
Yeah, it's gonna get very political.
Another thing that you guys eat is trứng non.
Trứng ngỗng.
The egg it's like a bunch of partially formed eggs. I guess put it in like chicken pho or something like that.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Okay. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another thing that in America we would never eat.
Yeah. Well, I know you're like the debate in like the political realm of like fertilized egg versus not. So human.
Right. Oh, you mean like the abortion thing?
Yeah.
No, I don't think about it in terms of that. I just think about it in terms of, I don't know. For us, we either eat chickens or eggs, or some a bird or egg. It's not both. And also, the eggs that we eat are not fertilized.
Yeah.
Obviously. So.
Well, we also eat underage chickens. It tastes better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know anything about there.
Well, we pretty much have to eat everything.
Oh.
Yeah. To survive. Well, now
I totally respect it.
Yeah.
I totally respect. I don't judge it.
have you tried dog?
No, I haven't eaten. No, that's another thing I don't think I would eat.
Dogs and cats. There are dogs and cats here. They are like half the society is against eating dogs and cats now, but back 5-10 years ago, like almost everyone can.
Really?
Yeah.
That recently?
Yeah.
You know, at the duck restaurant, there was this like stew called fake dog stew,
Oh yeah.
and it was actually
Sakai.
Yeah, it's made from pig. So like that.
Yeah, they just make it taste like dogs. For people that miss the dogs, they cannot eat anymore. But I think people have dog farms now that
Yeah, I think you know, you're not getting like your pet dog and turning that into a meal. Like you're taking it from a farm. That's a little bit different than our conception of eating house pets or whatever it is in America. I did walk through, not far from where I live, which is not far from here. If you walk like in one direction the wrong way, you'll hit like a street market, which has like every animal under the sun being chopped up and sold. And I did see dog and I did see cat, as well as duck and chicken. And that was another moment where I was like, wow, I'm definitely in a different country. Definitely different over here.
Wow. Oh, that's a lot of difference you have to get used to, eh? Have you?
Yeah, but you know what? I find it, people are so friendly here that it's not off-putting. It doesn't make me uncomfortable.
Okay.
Like it's different, but it's not like, it doesn't come across as unfriendly or nobody's antagonistic towards you. It's actually very nice. Like I kind of like it. The standard of living difference from here to America, in terms of like middle America versus like middle class Vietnamese or whatever, is different. But I kind of like that because you guys are more appreciative of like family and friendship and stuff like that. So I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't bother me.
Okay. So regarding the people, how do you think about like?
And they're the friendliest people I've ever met in Vietnam. And I've been to Italy, which I thought had some of the friendliest people. Obviously, I'm from the southern United States. People were like characteristically friendly, and that is a true thing. I've been to Thailand. People are pretty friendly there. But Vietnam is like a whole different level of friendliness. I mean, I've been like stranded on the side of the street, without Wi-Fi, trying to get a taxi, and people like letting me into their home and like, calling a taxi for me. This is when I first got here. It was like raining, pouring rain outside. I was screwed essentially if I didn't have somebody there to rescue me.
Okay.
And and the funny thing is, something like that has happened multiple times. It's not just a one-off thing.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty common here, particularly the Vietnamese attitude toward foreigners is just very welcoming.
Exactly. So me growing up, that's my experience as well. So both I and the surrounding are very like to the degree that we almost worship the foreigners for some reason, I don't know. But we are very friendly to them and willing to help. Yeah.
Well, I think also it could be because you guys maybe historically don't have the freedom to travel as much, as we do in the States.
Yeah.
So when somebody comes to see your country, that's a big deal because it may not be possible for you to travel to their country, that kind of thing. And in America, we're very multi-ethnic, multiracial, lots of immigrants society. We're just kind of used to that. and you guys are, well, I don't want to talk too much and say the wrong thing, but I'm just saying that you guys maybe historically don't have that to the same degree. And so I think that could be where the gratitude or gratefulness comes from. Because also we're bringing money to, your economy and stuff. I think as a developing economy, you guys are happy about that. In America, if an immigrant comes to the country, we're not happy that they're spending money here. Like, we don't care about that. And we already have a big economy. So, we have different values, value people from the outside world differently.
Yeah. I think it's collectively we're very like it comes from the hospitality of the people. Right? They welcome guests to the home as well as like foreign guests to the country. So yeah, that might be one of the good things that come out like as an image to like the international space. So,
yeah, I had read on like Reddit and stuff that Vietnamese people were super friendly.
Yeah.
But that can be such a personal thing that I wasn't sure that would be applicable necessarily to me, because people can just say whatever, what their experience was online, and who knows how accurate that is for everybody else. But for me, it's definitely been the case that, and even when my family came to visit in November, and they complained about a lot of things, but they did say that the people are extremely friendly. That's one thing that they said.
Yeah. But I have to warn you about scams. You cannot trust everyone.
No, you most certainly can't.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Before Grab and Uber, there was a lot of taxi service.
Right.
Yeah, and that's where most of the scams come from. Yeah, for foreigners. And then sometimes people charge foreigners a different price than they're supposed to, but not that common nowadays.
Things
change.
Yeah, I think the Grab app was started in Thailand or something, and then it kind of spread to other parts of Southeast Asia, partly due to scams and due to the lack of safety of these one-off taxis and such.
Yeah.
I can't think of a time I've been scammed other than maybe paying too much for like a spinning, top thing on the street or something like. And then that was like maybe 40,000, which it could have been 10,000.
Okay.
Something kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had I've never been scammed in terms of being robbed. I was lucky with the living place. That's one thing I was concerned about when it came to my living situation. But I happened to live with the physics professor at the university.
Okay.
I live in his house.
Oh, nice.
And so I didn't have to really worry about getting scammed by trying to find an apartment and stuff.
That's very nice of them. Yeah. Yeah. In economics, we call that price discrimination. It's not scamming the price, but anyways, they see you being a foreigner, and they expect you to have more money.
Right, exactly. No, I have experienced that, and I always tell people, even though I'm an American, I'm not rich. I even put that in my Google Translate so that they can.
You can have a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not rich, American.
Right.
And then walk down the street. No,
that might be simpler, so I don't have to type it out every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually funny. I've read about the real life story of that movie, and it's not just all about Oppenheimer. There are lots of people obviously involved. So they try to make it look like he made the whole thing, made the whole experience. I really did not like that movie.
Okay.
And that's to say nothing of the sensory overload that movie was, super loud, super just everybody up in your face. It was very uncomfortable movie watching for me.
And they made it political as well.
How do you mean?
No, I mean the movie, I expect the movie to be about science.
Right. They turned it into his security clearance and all. Is that what I'm talking about? Yeah, I don't care about that. I don't care about him losing his security. He's the last person I would feel sorry for something like that. He's not remotely sympathetic to me, even even if I only knew what I knew about him from the movie, you know, you still created this giant bomb that killed everybody in Japan. And then they didn't even really focus on that. They didn't really, like, he had his own like psychological effects from that, but they didn't do a deep dive into what damage that really caused to the Japanese people. So I thought that was very lazy.
We have Godzilla for that.
I guess so. I guess maybe they were looking at other horror movies to find out
Yeah.
how the Japanese were getting down. But yeah, I didn't like that movie. It was too long.
Yeah.
I really didn't like it. It was pretty disappointing. Like in terms of Christopher Nolan movies, I liked like the Batman movies. I liked Inception, and maybe there's one other movie that I liked too. But other than that, it's been not that good in my opinion. Like I like the more sci-fi stuff. When he tries to get into the science, it's just like I don't really like it.
I think Interstellar has something that you work on, which is
Right.
black holes.
Right.
Is it correct? The science? I think the science guy, the science advisor, is actually the founder of your organization.
That's right. Kip Thorne.
Kip Thorne.
He was the he was like the science advisor for the movie, from what I understand. So a lot of things in the movie are accurate, but then like everything breaks down when they actually go into the black hole and he can see his daughter's bookshelf in the room or something. Like that obviously is not true.
So
then he's like,
theoretically, what would happen if...
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows?
But I do know Matthew McConaughey is not going inside to see his daughter's bookshelf. And then the Morse code tapping that he does. How long would it take to parse through all that data? And it's supposed to be some incredibly complicated equation that he's writing down. And it doesn't make any sense.
Well, they're geniuses.
That was the other thing. So I don't want to turn this into a rant about Interstellar, but like...
No, you can.
But
you can look right into that camera and
it's
give a message to Christopher.
I'm not gonna do it. It's a bad idea. I'm not gonna do it.
All right. Well,
Thanks for the opportunity, but I'll try to keep it positive.
all right.
It's good. What I can say, it's good that these movies bring interest. Yeah, bring some interest from the younger people and stuff. Like after Oppenheimer came out, there's a huge uptick at Georgia Tech in interest in quantum mechanics. People actually enrolling in the class
To make bombs.
I guess so, or whatever. But obviously they're not going to learn it's not going to be as exciting as the movie, what they learn in the class, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's at least cool that they were interested.
Yeah, for everything, the first course is going to be interesting. And then the second one, where you get into the nitty gritty, it's going to take like a lot of grind. Did it happen to you as a physics student?
I mean, honestly, the first year of quantum mechanics is pretty, for lack of a better word, I want to say basic, but it's not basic as in it's like easy, but it's just like there are 4 or 5 core principles and you just work off those principles. And then you only solve the most simple problems because those are the only ones that can actually be solved by hand. And so, yeah, you get more and more advanced as you go into, second or third semester courses. But something like nuclear physics is like that's like a graduate or postgraduate level work that I don't know anything about, so.
Okay. Were you inspired by these pop things or not?
So my first exposure to black holes was, I went to like this kind of progressive private school, and there was this time that we had for library time, and the librarian of the school had like this huge collection of scholastic books.
You're talking middle school.
Yeah, probably in elementary school, probably like 9 or 10. Yeah,
That's early.
yeah, pretty young. And so I grabbed a book off the shelf that was all about space because I like space, whatever. And then I read about black holes in the book. I wish I could remember the name of the book now, because I tell people the story and they're like, oh, what book was it? I don't know.
Okay.
I can tell you what it looked like. It was kind of like a square, kind of pamphlet kind of book, and it had like tons of pictures in it. And it basically said nobody knows what happens inside the black hole. And as a kid who was so interested in gaining as much information about any and everything that I could, the fact that, you know, an expert writing this book, in my mind, even they didn't know about black holes, what was inside, I was like, oh wow, that's pretty mysterious. Okay. So I kind of filed that away in the back of my mind. I liked school. I was relatively good at school, and everything was seemingly equally easy.
Okay.
Easy, not easy, but it's like maybe math I had to study the most for, but if I did well in math, like all the other classes were behind it were kind of, you know,
nice.
Yeah, seemed to follow pretty easily. And so when I got to college, I actually wanted to be a journalist when I got to college.
Oh, how so?
Well, I liked sports. I liked sports broadcasting. I thought I might do that. I liked, you know, kind of this kind of thing, like the long form interviews. I thought I might do something like that. But, you know, when I took that first semester in college and didn't have any math classes, I was like, Now, just a lot of people would be like, oh, that's great. But for me, I did not like that.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't really scratching like my itch to continue to learn more and more.
Yeah. I think culturally, we had this conversation with my colleague back at Suwannee in Tennessee. Is that we have a generation or a culture in America that fear math.
Right.
And then when you when you take a math class or you're good in math, you are actually a subject for I don't know, for bullying and stuff like that, right?
So that when he or she says that, I haven't gone to school here, so I don't know what it's like here.
Okay.
So I can't say how different it is. I will say I liked math. I don't know if I experienced any bullying because I liked math, but I do think that I think it's fair to say that among my classmates, there's probably like a fear of math because it's like so hard that, you know, you want to avoid it as soon as possible. Like the first year you don't have to take math, like take that opportunity and don't take any more math, that kind of thing. You want to see it for the rest of your life, that kind of thing. And I will also say, again, I don't know what it's like here, but in America, most of our math education is calculation based. It's not really, it's like how quickly can you get the answer rather than, I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong, but there's not a lot of emphasis on statistics, or certainly not much emphasis on deriving theorems or theorems. Yeah. So, you know, it's a specific kind of math that people are taught to learn. So maybe if it were different, more people would be open to learning more, or maybe not. Because, you know, when you take an actual math like proofs class, that's almost as like a law class or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a lot of proving stuff. So maybe a lot of people going to law school who say that they don't like math. Well, maybe they would like it if they took a class like that.
Real analysis.
Yeah, yes. You know what I mean? So who knows? But I mean, don't get me wrong. I've taken math classes that I hated. I did not like linear algebra. That to me, that was like a vocab
That's
class.
your expertise, right?
Well, linear algebra is what they use in quantum mechanics. It's using a lot
and
of
data.
Yes, it's using data a lot. I just felt like it was kind of like a vocab class where I had to like learn every term, and there's a lot of math classes where that's true for like the first couple of weeks, and then you just get to like regular math, whatever that is.
Okay.
You know, whatever I'm used to. But for linear algebra, it just never stopped. There was always some new term to learn. So I did not like that. And it seemed like all the terms were like really similar and arbitrarily, like the names of the terms were like really arbitrary. Yeah. Like what's 1-to-1 or what's the other one?
Eigenvalue.
Yeah, eigenvalue. Eigenvalue is probably the most like universally applicable thing in there. I'm not a math expert, by the way. I'm not a mathematician. So somebody up here could look at this and say, oh, that's not true.
Well, I think very few mathematicians are gonna pick up on you.
Very good.
Yeah. But anyways, so you said you like math. When did physics come in?
So I liked math. I liked the black hole stuff that I learned about when I was 9 or 10. And then when I went to Howard and didn't like journalism really.
Howard is liberal arts, is it?
Yeah, liberal arts. The journalism or School of Communications there is actually very renowned. There's lots of people who have come out of there. And the math department at the time, people were saying, oh, it's not a very good, other students said it's not a very good math department, so you shouldn't
Major in math?
You shouldn't major in math, although, that's other, like we were just talking about, that's other people who don't like math saying the math department isn't good. So they could be very biased and probably wrong. But anyway, I decided to go with physics because physics, astrophysics is within physics a little bit. Although we didn't have any astrophysics professors at the time.
Oh.
But that's why I got into physics, because I wanted to study black holes. That's basically why.
So you have to read yourself on astrophysics.
Sorry?
You have to read yourself? Like for astrophysics.
Read myself?
Like you're read up the books.
Oh, sure.
Astrophysics.
Yeah. I had to do a lot of self-study.
Okay.
That we have these things in America where you can take like an internship, summer research internship over the summer at some other school that maybe does have astrophysics professors. So I did like 2 or 3 of those and got some research experience outside of my university. There was an astrophysics project that I was on that I was it was more of like a simulation or computational study, but it was like about solar physics kind of. So I did do a little bit of that. But not anything super substantive. In college, as a researcher, you're just trying to figure out what you like to do and what you don't like to do.
Okay.
So when I got to, I did a summer internship at Georgia Tech where I did some data analysis work for something called the Hawk Observatory, which is like a gamma ray observatory in New Mexico or something like that. And so they detect gamma rays using these big, what they call Cherenkov tanks, which are these big water tanks. And they detect
What's the use of these waves?
So these, so gamma rays are like extremely energetic. And so because of that, they can come from, for example, supernova, which are these exploding stars, or they can come from other like super energetic astrophysical events, like when neutron stars merge, they can emit gamma rays. They're like one of the highest frequencies of light out there. And so they're extremely, they have a lot of energy. And so usually it's not just one gamma ray that you're observing. It would be like a cascade of gamma rays that, so the way that a Cherenkov detector works is that you have maybe some gamma rays that come into the atmosphere, and you can think of it kind of like a pancake. Those particles, those gamma particles, hit those atmospheric particles, and then a secondary radiation kind of cascades down and hits the water inside the tank, and the water is stable, and the particles that cascade down are going so fast that they create this type of radiation called Cherenkov radiation, which is like this blue light that shines, and the tanks are like dark on the inside except for whenever this Cherenkov light is emitted. So they have like this. It's a pretty neat idea. The Hawk Observatory was actually, I forget the history now, but there had been this other, I think it was called the Milagros experiment in Mexico that had gotten decommissioned, I believe, and then they used those tanks to make the Hawk Observatory. And basically the more tanks you have set up you can see a potentially larger cascade of particles coming
So it's
down.
not one big tank, it's a collection of tanks.
Yeah, it would be. I think the Hawk Observatory is at least like 30 or 40 tanks, and they're huge. They're like bigger than this room.
Ah,
Yeah, I know. I've never been, but it's pretty.
so we have a camera in there.
It's not really a camera. It's more like a. You can think of it like a camera. It's a sensor of light,
Okay,
but it's seeing a frequency that we can't see. It's like an ultraviolet kind of light
okay.
sensor, and the tanks are totally dark, and it's really cool. I mean, you can make maps from the data in those tanks. You can make maps of sky maps of where are the brightest areas of the sky in gamma rays. So how we look at the sky and we just see visual light, you can look at the sky and also just see gamma rays. And there are some known emitters of gamma rays. Like there's one supernova that's actually named that I can't remember the name of now, but it's like a known emitter of gamma rays. People think it's a blazar, which is when you have kind of so usually black holes or accretion happens like in terms of jets. So there's like a jet pointing up and a jet pointing down.
Okay.
If it's like a black hole that's spinning this way.
Okay.
I know I'm kind of getting into the weeds, but a blazar is one that like points directly at Earth.
Ah,
So these are things called quasars in general, but if it's a blazar, it points directly at Earth. So not the same as a supernova, but basically it's a strong and constant emitter of gamma rays. So that's what I worked on. I mean, when I did that in the summer, I was just getting used to like coding because I didn't really know anything about what I was doing.
code in Python?
Yeah, Python. Also, we were using Linux commands, so that's like more of an operating system. But for me, it was the same as coding because I didn't know anything about Linux either.
So why is it put in Mexico? Is it because it's on the equator?
So the reason is because you want the detector to be elevated, like so there's less atmosphere between the detector and the source.
Okay.
And you want the air to be dry so that there's not that many other particles that could be interacting with it.
So we choose somewhere hot.
Somewhere hot, like arid, dry.
Okay.
Chile has a lot of like astrophysical detectors for the same reason, because it's very mountainous and the air there apparently is very dry.
Okay.
So like the dark energy survey is like located there.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
So, okay, so coming back to your organization, is it LIGO, Cagra, and Virgo?
Virgo, yeah. Good.
You said you're a data analyst of this matter. What kind of data do you collect, and what do you get out of the analysis?
Right. So the way that the detector is set up, we have two arms of light beams that are kind of crisscrossed like this.
Okay.
Okay. So the light there's a laser beam that comes to one end, comes back, is reflected back to the center.
What do you call that? That system?
The apparatus is called an interferometer.
Interfere interferometer, right?
Something like that.
Okay.
That's what the whole apparatus is called. That's actually what the I in LIGO stands for. So it's a laser interferometry gravitational wave detector. No, gravitational wave observatory.
Okay.
So the interferometer part is where you have these lasers set up that basically you can think of it as a very sensitive measurer of distance. So the arms on each end are 4 kilometers long. So that when
4 kilometers
yeah, they're huge.
each.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, the one in the Virgo is the Virgo is in Italy. That was like
Near Pisa?
yeah, and that one's like I think 3 kilometers, and the one in Cagra is also like 3 kilometers.
Cagra is in
Japan. Yeah, it's actually inside a cave in Japan.
Oh.
And basically, as a gravitational wavefront passes a gravitational wave kind of twists and wiggles space-time a little bit. So that sensitive detector of distance will actually be physically wiggled. And so that measures as a fractional change in length of the detector arm. And that manifests as a signal, kind of a sinusoidal type signal on the detector channel.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the big picture kind of cartoon look at it, but there's also a lot of engineering stuff that goes into it, accounting for various sources of noise and things like that.
Okay. So so this gravitational wave come in and disrupt the space-time. By that you mean that any area that is affected, do they experience time differently and space differently?
Yeah.
So okay, so if I am inside the wave and you're not, I may age like faster. Or
so so if you're inside the wave and I'm not, we're probably experiencing time and space the exact same, you and I, because we're this close.
okay.
Now, if we're very far away, then yes, then we would experience it differently.
Okay.
We have to take note of the fact too that this fractional change in length that is measured is on the order of like 1,000th of a proton width. So it's extremely, extremely small. And the sources that are detected are the most enormous and cataclysmic events in the universe, and still the signal is very small.
Okay.
Because so what we say is that space-time is a very stiff medium.
Okay.
So you need something very big and like chaotic, for lack of a better word, cataclysmic, like two black holes merging after spiraling for some time. They merge. It's a huge eruption of gravitational wave energy. The signal would be louder, closer to the source. By the time it gets to us, it's just this small wiggle.
Louder, you mean they emit sound?
No, I mean louder as in a larger signal. Sorry.
Okay.
Louder is a little bit colloquial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. So, all I can think of now is like the time dilation that you see in movies.
Right.
Is it something that can be explained with that you just explained?
So the governing theory of gravity right now is general relativity, and time dilation is a real effect that is predicted and described by general relativity. So too are gravitational waves predicted by general relativity. So when something is very massive, that mass, the fact that it's embedded in space-time, it actually distorts the space-time around it. So the way that people usually talk about it is if you have like a trampoline or something, you put like a bowling ball in the middle, the rubber distorts to fit that ball.
Okay.
So the sun or something like that is actually distorting the space-time around it. And then when you put that bowling ball in the trampoline, and then you have a ball, another ball, small ball, like rolling around it, eventually it's going to merge with the bowling ball.
Okay.
So a massive body distorts the space-time around it so that a straight line is actually a curved path toward the more massive thing. So that's how the sun is orbited by the Earth and all the other planets. But eventually, for very, very massive bodies, and even for our sun and Earth, this will happen in billions of years, so we don't have to worry about it. But eventually, gravitational waves are emitted, and the orbit is shrinking continuously to the point where the orbit is actually losing energy, therefore becoming smaller, because there's not enough energy to maintain such a large orbit.
Okay.
And then the two merge. When they merge, they become one black hole.
Oh.
And so there's a lot of
They don't have to have equal mass?
no.
No?
No.
Okay.
In fact, they they may radiate away their extra mass and become equal mass over time. That's called circularization.
Okay.
Because the reason they call it that is because if two masses are unequal, the orbit is going to be more elliptical.
Okay.
And so over time, as two black holes get closer together, because of energy conservation reasons, they typically have circularized by the time they get very close. And so their masses will be almost the same.
Okay.
Very basically equal. And that's like a common approximation that's used for gravitational wave physics. And most of the gravitational wave signals detected by LIGO are, not asymmetric masses, they're equal masses, low eccentricity kind of signals. And, that's a very good approximation for most gravitational wave signals.
So have there been like a striking result that confirms the theory? Because I think most of this comes out of theory, right?
Yeah, indeed. So the first gravitational wave detection was on September 15th, 2014. GW 150914. So the name of the event is the date of the event. And so this basically was that confirmed a result from a theoretical result from general relativity. For a while, it wasn't known whether black holes really emit gravitational waves or bodies really emit gravitational waves or not. It was believed, but Einstein himself actually went back and forth. He developed a theory, but he said at first that bodies do emit gravitational waves. Then he said, no, they don't. And then finally at the end, he said, yes, they do. Because general relativity, the math is a lot more complicated than what physicists were used to dealing with up to that time. It's like a complicated geometry theory where if you go from one coordinate system to another, different physical quantities just behave differently. And so a lot of people went back and forth on this issue that, okay, if I have this gravitational interacting body over here, what does that mean for the observer over there?
Okay.
And so for a while, this was something that had been, there were two pulsars that were detected in the 70s. The Hulse-Taylor pulsars, which their orbit shrank. It was discovered that their orbit shrank. So that was a big deal because where did their extra energy get released? Or how did it get released? Well, it must have been gravitational waves. That was kind of the thinking from observation. And so that was a big step toward confirming the theory. But to actually detect the gravitational wave front itself was an even bigger confirmation.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you actually talked to the Nobel Prize laureate not too long ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You presented in front of him.
Yeah, that's right.
He give you some pointers?
No, he didn't. So you're talking about Takaaki Kajita, who his Nobel Prize was in neutrino oscillations, but now he is the PI for Kagra, and he was super, super nice. No, it was very cool to meet like an actual Nobel laureate. I'd never met anybody like that before. He's by far the most, I don't know if he's necessarily the most famous physicist I've met, but in terms of like personal accomplishments, I never met Kip Thorne or any of those guys.
Oh.
I don't know why I never met them, but I never met them. So I'm sure they're nice too.
You go to conferences?
I go to conferences, but a lot of those guys,
They're in a gated community at the conferences.
Yeah, maybe they don't need to go to conferences. They're not looking for jobs. They may not be looking for students or whatever. So they may not have the same need to present their work and stuff like that. But no, I didn't really talk to him about anything super substantial. It's like, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. I told him it's an honor to have him here at Fenica. I was pretty psyched to have the opportunity to meet him. And it was cool to hear from his perspective how the Kagra detector is going.
Yeah.
They have a lot of experimental issues. So he's an experimentalist from his background. and they have a lot of issues with Kaga right now. It's like I said, it's underneath the ground, which they do that because there's a lot of sources of noise with gravitational wave detection, and Japan has a lot of earthquakes.
Yeah.
So they say, okay, further into the ground, it should be better, but they still have, earthquakes. There's condensation inside the cave, so that can cause issues. So, Kaga hasn't made any significant detections yet.
Okay.
But with given more observation time, they should be on track with LIGO and Virgo, and because gravitational waves, the wavefront is very large, so it's not that easy to localize them on the sky to get a picture of like where they occurred on the sky.
Yeah.
So detectors in multiple parts of the globe is eminently useful, and it will continue to be useful over time.
Okay.
So that you can localize like where it came from on the sky. Because if it hits one detector first and then it hits the fourth detector last, you can kind of reconstruct, okay, what direction did it come from? That's the idea.
And then the Earth must have been rotated like between time hits, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, they take into account all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
The light travel time is what you're thinking of. The rotation of the Earth was going to be on a certain scale as well. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, very interesting. So there's a debate like within not only the Vietnamese community of researchers, but also international, that the research that come out of some kind of grant must serve humanity.
Right.
So I know that the fund for this is enormous, right? Is there any real contribution to our daily life that come out of the research of this, or is for pure science?
That's a good question. Because, just because I like to study it doesn't mean that everybody else will find it useful, right? I think that the short answer is I want to say inconclusive. Like, we don't know how useful it'll be, the work that we're doing 30 years from now. But there's multiple examples of, work that has been done in the past that is now super relevant today. Like general relativity is used, for example, for satellites and GPS on your phones, stuff like that. Or what's another example? But these things kind of take a while to catch up to, to daily life, as you say. Day-to-day life, is this gravitational wave event important to you guys? Well, it's important if you think it is, and we have to figure out. My main motivation with astrophysics, other than the fact I think it's cool, we all grow up, looking at the sky, and in a very romantic way, wondering, maybe the pollution here is you can't see the stars that much. But depending on where you are, you look at the stars and wonder what's out there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a universal thing that I think everybody should have access to. Like, in other words, if I'm from a rural part of the world or a very, overpopulated part of the world or whatever, everybody should have the same opportunity to study this if they want to.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my motivation. To that end, is it useful? Well, LIGO has this open data that people can access and study it on their own if they want to. The barrier to making something publishable or very a very interesting result from the raw data that may be a little bit beyond the average person's expertise, but it's a step toward there being some kind of equality or equity in science. Science is a humanistic endeavor, so I really think that the more normal we are seen, the better. Like we should just be seen as like regular people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not geniuses or anything crazy.
And it's better to spend on this than on military.
I would hope so. And Yeah, it's funny. Like, so as you know, in America right now, these kinds of scientific endeavors are kind of under assault, and
Well, I know a lot of victims, including myself.
right, exactly. So yeah, you were kind of in the same boat. And the funny thing is, not that it's funny, but the funding was already really low before these slashes.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like it was super high under Obama or Biden or anything. And you know, the amount of money that they save by cutting these programs is like nothing compared to like cutting like the military fund. It's like a joke how like little this stuff actually affected the national debt or anything like that. So I don't know. I know you mentioned like political stuff or whatever getting about. I don't really care. Like I'll say what my opinion is, but
Please.
okay, but yeah, I just think it's absolutely absurd, and you know, if we don't value these kinds of things, then it's a slippery slope to determine what else do we really value, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And our military spending is like out of control in the States.
But a never-ending race.
Yeah, and any state can become like literally a police state in like 5 minutes. So, you know, we have enough.
State.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a lot of craziness happening in the States right now, and one can only hope that things can settle down eventually, and that some form of sanity will be restored. And to me, sanity comes from science.
Yeah.
So we need science.
Hopefully. And a little bit to that, Fanica University is building a massive observatory on the outside, right? Do you think you have any use of that thing?
You know what's crazy? So that the observatory is being built in preparation for the Astrophysics Olympiad in October or November.
This coming
November. So that's why it's being built so quickly, because it needs to be built for the students. It'll be like kind of a computer screen, like kind of, I don't know if you've been to like an IMAX theater or something like that. So it'll be kind of like that. You can actually, you know, whatever, see the sky on the screen or whatever. So will I have any use for it? I mean, I'll be like the first person in line to actually see it when it's up. It's funny, we were talking about this in the summer, and I had just joined Fanica over last summer, but I was in America visiting family at the time, and we were talking about, you know, we're going to try to build this observatory, blah blah blah, and I'm thinking like, okay, cool, it'll be built in like 5 years, 10 years or something. Because
they're building it in like half.
I know it'll probably be done like next month by the way that they're viewing it. So I just think it's super cool. This kind of observatory it'll bring money to the university, because and to probably Vietnam in general, people will come. You know, that's the thing in America with NASA and stuff. They know how to get people interested in space science.
Okay, do we as audiences have access to the telescope?
Eventually, it'll be something where you pay some small fee and get in and see some sort of demonstration of the observatory.
Earn money.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much. It'll be enough for like a family of 5 to come in and see. That's my understanding. You know, you guys in Thailand, in Chiang Mai in Thailand, there's something called NARIT, which is kind of built on like the typical NASA model, where you have like a museum on space exploration, and then you have some meteorite rocks, and you have an observatory that kids can go see, and it gets kids excited about it, and it brings money to the state. It brings money to the university and to the institution. So I think it's an absolutely fantastic thing. There's lots of stuff like that in America, comparatively few in the Southeast Asian region, but it can only bring like positive vibes,
Yeah, but don't you have like a pretty clear sky for the view, right?
In America?
No, in here at Fanica. We have a
Well,
lot of pollutions coming out, right?
right. So that's the idea. So on days when the sky is not clear, that will be used for the Olympiad tests.
Okay.
Because maybe they'll have to look at the sky and make some sort of calculation or something like that.
Okay.
So then when the sky is not too clear, which likely it won't be on a lot of days.
So after the Olympiad, it's going to be given up to. I mean, it's going to be destroyed.
No. I think it's gonna be kept, in perpetuity. I think it'll be a permanent addition to the university, but it'll be something where somebody will be hired to manage the observatory, and then there'll usually in America there's like some observing hours from like 7 to 8 or something like that, 7 to 8 p.m. where people can see like, if you want to see, this is where Alpha Centauri is, or something like that, where you can actually see the stars and the screen, and you can actually zoom in on the screen. Whoever is presenting can zoom in. It's pretty amazing. Like based on the plans that I've seen, it looks pretty cool.
Nice.
Like it'll be exciting, something that everybody can go see. I know it's kind of like, it'll be maybe kind of a random thing for you guys to see this observatory being built like in the middle of campus, but I think it'll be actually a very exciting addition.
Yeah. Does it potentially help you in your research?
Does it help me in the research? We'll see. I'm not going to say no, because I'm always open to collaboration. And if we get somebody here who is knowledgeable on how to, because usually these observatories have like a telescope as well as the screen, like a telescope, you can actually see stuff. And I'm not necessarily the most well-versed on like different constellations and stuff, embarrassingly enough. So it could be something cool for me and my own edification of like objects on the sky. Because, we use these coordinates on the sky all the time that I know the numbers, but when it comes to actually looking up at the sky, I'm like, I probably couldn't tell you where that is on the sky, but I know the numbers, so.
Yeah, I can probably tell you the Orion, where it is.
Yeah.
It's the only one.
Yeah, Orion's belt, the Big Dipper, and the Bear one.
The Big Dipper.
Yeah, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor. I can spot a few of them. Actually, me and my dad and my sisters used to go every year to the Perseid shower, which is in August every year. And we would go see, we would drive out to the country and go look at the meteorite shower, or meteor shower. So that was one cool thing that we did, but it didn't take any sort of knowledge of like where to look on the sky or anything.
Yeah. Well, I saw the clear sky in Swanee once.
Yeah.
That's the first time in 30 years I saw the Milky Way.
Really?
Yeah.
So I've never seen the Milky Way. Yeah.
It's up in the sky.
Yeah. No. I've seen photos of it, but I've never actually seen it. So what was that like?
The light pollution and everything was blurred out.
Right. So what was that like?
It's like a little cloud of light in between, and everything follows. Yeah.
So what was it like to see that?
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
I realized that I need to see that like once in a while.
Right. And it's cool that, so many generations ago, that was just a common thing to see that. And our ancestors or what have you grew up seeing that and wondering, what is that and how far away is that or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's part of our mythology.
Superstition.
Yeah. It's part of our mythology as a species. And it's a beautiful thing to know that we're all connected that way.
Population.
Yeah.
In the sky. Right. So that was a great talk with Dr. Peter Lott, and thank you for joining us today. And we learned a lot about not only your experience here in Vietnam, but also about your expertise, which is about stars and math and everything. And we hope you enjoy your life here, your tenure here in Vietnam.